Okay, this is going to be hopefully a help for the anatomy of an atom poster. And so what we're going to do is, first off, file new. We're going to make it, I think this time maybe horizontal, so it's 8 by 10 instead of 10, or 10 by 8 instead of 8 by 10. You can make it either way. And what I'm going to do is I'm making a new layer. And so I'm going to just show you the very basics here. I'm going to take a elliptical marquee tool, and I'm going to pull out a circle. Remember, hold shift down to create a circle that is constrained, that is a perfect circle. Then I'm going to go to my gradient tool, and I'm going to create a gradient. So I can click here and change the color, and maybe we'll make this red, and I'm going to make this a little bit lighter red, so I have a little bit of a highlight. Then I can hit OK, and I'm going to choose a radial gradient, and I'm going to start my center of my radial gradient a little bit off center. So now this is going to go from dark red to light red, and so I don't want that. So if that happens, what you're going to need to do is hit reverse, and you're going to reverse it. And so that will produce that just kind of a little bit of a three-dimensional ball. And I can then hit Control D as deselect. Now I want to make sure that I'm making all these on separate layers, so I can drag down, make a new layer, and then move it. And so I can make my protons or electrons or whatever that happens to be that way. Now I could go ahead and draw another circle exactly the same size and recolor it, but what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna use this existing one. So let's say I'm making hydrogen, and I need now some neutrons. So what I need to do is hit Control and then click in the thumbnail, not over here on the words, not over here in the layer, but in the thumbnail itself. And that's going to reselect anything that happens to be on that layer. So I've reselected that. Now, that's protecting that area. So that's the only area that this is going to affect. So then what I'm going to do is I'm going to go to Hue and Saturation, and I can change the hue of this without having to do anything with the gradient, without having to remake anything. And then what I'm going to do is I want to select both of these, because now I want that to be permanent. I want to be able to copy this purple one. So that one is affecting this layer. So I want to select both of them by holding shift down, and then I'm going to go to Layer, Merge Layers. So merge layers means you're going to merge only the selected layers. If I hit Merge Visible, then it's going to merge anything that has the eyeball, the visibility turned on. If I hit Flatten, it's going to flatten everything, whether it's turned on or turned off. So I'm going to go to Merge Visible. That's going to flatten it in. Here's my purple one. I might even name it just so I'm staying organized. And then now I can copy that layer, or duplicate it, I guess is a better term. I could either drag it into this new layer, or I could right-click and go to Duplicate Layer. So either one you want to do. So now I have those duplicated. And so I could arrange these however I want to make the nucleus. And then I'm going to make a new layer, and here's how I would make the orbitals. So I make an elliptical marquee, and I'm just going to draw this straight up and down for right now. And if I need to move that, I can go to Select, Transform Selection, and I can modify that orbit. Now I want to stretch it out as big as I want before I rotate it. It just seems to work better. So now I say, okay, I want to see what it looks like more offset a little bit. I'm going to put my center of that transformation right in the center of my nucleus, and then I can move this whole assembly later. But so I think that looks pretty good. I'm going to hit OK. And then I need to make it visible. Right now it's just a selection. There is no, if I hit Control D, there's nothing going to be there. So I go to Edit, Stroke, and I'm going to say maybe somewhere between 10 and 15. I'm just going to go 10. The color is okay, and now that strokes that selection. I hit Control D, and there's my orbital. Now I need some electrons, and so if I look at the periodic table, hydrogen has 2 protons, 2 electrons, and 2 neutrons. So I need some electrons out here that might need to change color. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to copy one of my purple ones and grab it and put it over here, but I need it to be a different color. So again, remember, I need to hold Control down, click on the thumbnail. That will select that. I can go to Hue and Saturation, change the saturation to something new, and then remember, it's affecting the color. It's affecting the layer that's below. So what I need to do is hold Shift down, select both of those, and then go to Layer and Merge Layer. So now there's my yellow electron, or I should probably put electron. Then I'm going to duplicate it and bring it down here. And so now I've got the anatomy of a hydrogen atom, and then you can put text in and backgrounds and things like that. The only other thing here is that our orbital goes right through our electron. So to make the electron look solid, what we can do is, this is our, I should probably put orbital, or orbit, whatever. And that is all pixels. So I could erase them, but I think a better way, like we've been learning about, is mask. If I can put a mask on that, and now I can change to black and paint. I'll increase my brush a little bit, and I can erase to basically the center there. This is really not erasing, it's masking. So if I mess up and do something like that, I can always switch to white, and I can pull that back. Okay, so you do a little bit nicer job there. I probably should use a harder edge brush than I was, but that's the way to do it. So you may need to stop and start this to understand what we were doing, but that should get you started.